I was originally planning on filming this at my desk, but I just listened to 210 songs. I am exhausted. I need to lay down. Before we start, I just want to say that I'm separating the artist from the art for the purpose of this video, with the sole reason being that I have no idea what most of these artists have done outside of these songs. And I also want to say that all opinions are my own and that they may differ from yours, but that's okay. So feel free to start a conversation with me about that in the comments. Also, I know everyone kind of memes on the AMAs because big award shows are generally a little out of touch, but we're just going to ignore that for like 10 minutes and just listen to what they want me to hear. I'm only going to be voting for songs, albums, and music videos, so I'm not even going to go into the artist rankings or movie soundtracks. Everything is just in order of announcement from the official AMAs page. So let's stick to that order and start with the collaboration of the year. The only song that I heard before was WAP, and I had also heard clips from Savage, but not the whole song or this remix, so with those biases out in the open, honestly, none of these songs really stuck out to me. If you want to hear the real collaboration of 2020, stream About Us by Kamson, Kids Waste, and Manu Dia. I guess I'll say that I didn't really like 10,000 Hours. It just sounded really cheesy and a little outdated for something that's supposed to represent like collaboration of 2020. It really reminded me of like early 2000s. Rain on Me gave me kind of a similar vibe, but geared more toward Lady Gaga's like 2009 era with a very basic house beat. Rockstar just felt very repetitive and kind of low effort for something that's supposed to be nominated as best anything, let alone a collaboration. Oh god, so that does leave me with WAP and the Savage remix. For the category of best collaboration, I do think that Megan works better with Cardi B. Their styles and their vocal ranges just work better together. Strictly, music speaking, I did enjoy listening to Savage more, but for best collaboration, I do think it has to go to WAP. Okay. So next up in songs, the pop rock genre, which frankly I don't think has any business being grouped together like this. I had not heard any of these songs beforehand, so just based on the first listen, I really enjoyed Don't Start Now and The Box more than anything else on the list. I don't think that Someone You Loved really should be classified as either pop or rock, so that's not even a contender in my opinion. Circles by Post Malone was pretty good, but again seemed really repetitive, and Blinding Lights was super fun and gave me like 80s dance crave vibes, which I love. None of these really screamed rock to me, but just based on the pop genre, I do think that Dua Lipa gets the crown here. It's just so fun and really well produced. It seriously made me want to dance when I heard it, and I'm not a dancer by any means. I will admit that I am not very well versed in country music, although I feel like I've listened to enough country music in these last 2 days to kind of get the idea. I know it's a genre that gets dunked on a lot by every other genre, but hey, let's just give it a chance. This is the second time we've seen 10,000 Hours in the nominees, so you already know my opinion on it, so let's just talk about the other two. I don't know if I'm being too harsh here, but Nobody But You sounds exactly like how I imagine a country song with a sprinkle of pop to sound like. I feel like The Bones is really, really good as far as songwriting goes, but I don't know if I would classify it as country. Nobody But You fits the country genre more, but The Bones is my favorite out of the three, so we'll go with merit. Rap and hip-hop. We've heard all 3 of these songs already, actually, so honestly it was an easy pick. I liked The Box the most out of these. I feel like the production sounds really simple, but with Roddy Ricch on it sounds more complete, if that makes sense. And the cinematic ending is just... Next we have the soul R&B. Okay, so I know that I said that I'll separate the artist from the art, but even putting that aside, I still think that Chris Brown and Drake both put so little effort into this song. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay, Playing Games is really well produced. The instrumental is really good and definitely deserves its spot on this nominee list. The lyrics are emotional. It really does feel like soulful. Heartless is amazing too. I mean, that bass, oh my god. God, this is such a tough decision for me, honestly, because I really like both of these songs. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give Playing Games my vote, because I do know After Hours is also a contender for the best album in this genre, as well as in pop rock, so... Okay, similar to my disclaimer about country music, I don't know jack squat about Latin music other than it's catchy. It's usually really entertaining because it has like a classic beat pattern. So first, some notes. Bad Bunny's voice sounds like he should be a hip-hop vocalist. Am I wrong? I have no idea what the lyrics are saying, but the mallet motif is really catchy. The reverby pads in the background also add to that hip-hop fuel tank. Overall, the song is pretty catchy, so I like it. And the Black Eyed Peas, oh, that's a name I have not heard in a long... Cute. It's a nice song. I'm not a huge fan of the intro, but the rest of it is really fun. And Tusa uses strings instead of mallets like the other 2 songs, which already sets it apart. And I really, really like Carol G's voice on this. Hi, Kiwi. Again, I have no idea what's being said here, but it feels nice. You have to be right by the microphone. Plus her and Nikki sound really good together. I think I'm going to have to vote for Vete. Out of these three, it was the only one that made me want to listen again. And I'm not sure if it's because I find so much hip-hop influence in it, but this is my video. This is my vote, so this is my pick. So now we're going to take a step back and take a look at the top album picks for 2020. Before doing the research for this video, I had not listened to any of the albums, so my votes will be based purely on my first impressions. I'm just going to base my vote on the data. Out of how many songs in the album, how many caught my attention, and how many did I leave unfinished. I did force myself to at least listen halfway through a song, even if I found it uninteresting, so I gave them all a decent chance, in my opinion. For the pop rock genre, the only album here with a little bit of an advantage is After Hours, because I just listened to 2 of the tracks that were nominated for the song categories, and I really loved them. But let's take a look at my initial listen statistics to determine my favorite pop rock album of 2020, based off of these 3. Coming in last place with a 44% skip rate, Folklore by Taylor Swift. Only 19% of the songs caught my attention, not to say that the rest weren't good. In second place, we have Fine Line by Harry Styles with about a 33% skip rate and 33% intrigue. This is the first I've heard of him since he broke off from One Direction, and I actually think this is the better direction. And finally, to the surprise of absolutely no one, on the account of all aforementioned bias, in first place, After Hours by The Weeknd, with only a 0.7% skip rate and a nice 36% intrigue rate. And now for the country album. So I know Curtis Connor recently made a video kind of making fun of country music, and there was that really popular Bo Burnham bit also making fun of country music. So I already had this idea in my head that I'm not supposed to like country music, or that I would find it too cheesy or too repetitive or whatever. But I do have to say that I was not mad about listening to some of these songs. Maybe because a lot of the AMA nominations are specifically written to appeal to a mainstream audience, or maybe I'm just a closeted country lover. Who knows? In last place, with a 50% skip rate and only 0.8% intrigue, Fully Loaded, God's Country. It started off really strong with the first song, so I had high hopes there, then I kind of got lost. In second place, with again a 50% skip rate but a 21% intrigue, If I Know Me by Morgan Wallen. I actually did not enjoy the title track, and I felt like a lot of the lyrics were a little misogynistic. And finally, The Country Boy Who Stole My Heart. What You See Is What You Get by Luke Combs, with only a 33% skip rate and a 0% intrigue rate. It was the same situation as God's Country, where the first song hit me hard, but the rest were just too similar to each other for my taste. Moving on to the rap and hip-hop genre, I wasn't really sure what to expect here. However, after listening to all 3 albums in a row, the results are in, and I feel like I do not give a fuck. For third place, with a 61% skip rate and 0% intrigue, Eternal Atake by Lil Uzi Vert. Please don't come for me. Nothing particularly made me stop whatever I was doing to pay more attention to the song, which is basically how I've been determining what songs count as an intrigue, but maybe it will grow on me later. Please don't come for me. In second place, My Turn by Lil Baby, with only a 2% skip rate, but also only a 2% intrigue rate. I guess that's what happens when you give me a 20-track album to listen to, Lil Baby man. And in first place, with a 13% skip rate, but a 31% intrigue rate, Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial by Roddy Ricch. Some of these were absolute bangers. I liked it a lot. Up next we have the Soul R&B album category. So, in third place, with a 33% skip rate and 25% intrigue, Hot Pink by Doja Cat. Maybe it was at a little disadvantage because I went into it expecting more of the dreamy pop similar to her viral track, Say So, but everything was a little different. But in second place, Over It by Summer Walker, with only an 11% skip rate, which is surprising for my attention span for an 18-track album. I generally enjoyed it a lot, and a 28% intrigue. And I didn't listen to After Hours again, but instead I used the same percentages that it gave me for the pop rock genre, and it won again. Oh, it's just so good. The final album category, Latin. For last place, with a 1% skip rate, but also a 1% intrigue, Las Que No Iban a Salir by Bad Bunny, which is fine. It was the shortest album of the entire nominee list. And in second place, Emmanuel, with a 14% skip rate and 23% intrigue. A lot of the songs were really enjoyable, fun to listen to while working. And finally, in first place, YHLQMDLG by Bad Bunny, with only a 1% skip rate and a nice 40% intrigue rate. I looked up what the song title stands for, and it's the Spanish abbreviation for I Do Whatever I Want, which coincidentally is also the description of my YouTube channel. Okay, and The final segment is voting for the favorite music video category. Okay, so I haven't listened to most of the songs, I hadn't listened to any of the albums, and I haven't seen any of the music videos. So, who's really out of touch here? I wanted to show you my live reactions to watching everything for the first time, but honestly, my expression did not change throughout the entire 30 minutes of watching all the music videos. I would make the worst reaction channel. The only music video that I had a genuine reaction to was Blinding Lights, and not in a good way. I have pretty bad car anxiety. I think it's getting better, but whenever I watch movies or music videos with fast cars, it just freaks me out so bad. But like, I almost cried from watching this music video, and I'm so sad because I was really rooting for Blinding Lights. I had no idea that there were going to be cars here. So with that being said, it's out of my vote. I think that the Say So and Rain On Me music videos were both pretty good, but also kind of generic, whereas Cardigan and Life Is Good is more story driven. It's kind of hard to choose a winner out of these four since it does feel like there are those two categories. For story, I think that Life Is Good makes more sense, and for concept, I really enjoyed Rain On Me with the iconic costumes and makeup. And I think I'm gonna have to go with Life Is Good. So those are my votes for the 2020 American Music Awards. I listened to 236 songs in the span of 3 days. Why? Let me know what you thought, and if you agreed or if you disagreed with anything, just be nice about it. We can have differing opinions on music taste, and everything is okay. We can still be friends. I'm so tired.